Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Sunday, the 30th day of January. Here we go. We've been talking to you about the repetition of the Shemona Esrei by the Chazan. Now, here's another important factor. Let's say the Chazan is about to repeat the Shemona Esrei. He looks back behind him to see that hopefully he has a minyan of people, men, listening to him, and the crowd's kind of small. He basically sees 12 people, let's say. He needs a minimum of 9, and he is number 10, and that counts as a minyan. But okay, let's say he sees 11 or 12 or 13 men. But looking at those men, he's not very inspired. The chazan kind of feels like, oh, he spaces out, he falls asleep, he's going to be reading a book the whole time. I don't really have 9 men listening who are all going to answer amen to what I'm saying. This repetition of Shemona Esrei that I am now doing might be kind of sort of for nothing, because I'm only allowed to repeat it and say this whole Shemona Esrei if there are 9 full-fledged man listeners listening to me, and I don't think they're out there. What should he do? Well, one thing he could do politely, kind of speak with them, especially if he knows that this happens often, and said, "Guys, listen, you're asking me to repeat the Shemona Esrei. You don't want these brachas to be in vain on my account or yours. So please, could you all pay attention?" That's one of the things that he could do. What he could also do is, if he knows that, well, even if he makes that speech, the problem might still happen, he can say this. He can make a condition between himself and God and say, "God, I'm repeating the Shemona Esrei now as I'm supposed to. But there might not be 9 official listeners, so I don't want the blessings to be in vain. So let's make this deal." And really, you're allowed to do this. You say, "God, if there are 9 or more listeners throughout the Shemona Esrei, then we're good. Then this is a repetition of the Shemona Esrei. If there aren't, and only you know that, God, if there aren't, could you please count the Shemona Esrei that I'm now repeating as a tfilas nedava, which means a voluntary prayer offering?" In other words, it's not a repetition of Shemona Esrei because there isn't a minion listening to me back there. But you, God, who knows if there are 9 people listening to me or not, count it, please, as a voluntary repetition of the a voluntary prayer offering that I'm saying to you now, just in case it isn't really acting as a proper repetition of Shemona Esrei. And if there are not 9 listeners, God will count it as a voluntary prayer offering for you. Voluntary prayer offerings are only supposed to be done when you really intend them and mean them well, and you're not just doing them by rote. So also, please intend to mean every word that you're saying, concentrate on every word that you're saying, and that is one option if you're in a small minyan. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye bye.